I had a son when I was 14 and none of my family knows besides my aunt. I was raped by a family member until I was 13 and moved in with my aunt. She's a good person that took me in and helped me get away from the bad people in my family. When we found out I was pregnant, she guessed how it happened. I hadn't told her about what had happened, but she said she always expected it but never had proof. She came up with a way to get me away. She pretended to get pregnant and asked my parents if she could get custody so I could move in with her, get homeschooled, and help her out. They said no at first because they knew they'd lose out on food stamps, so she offered to pay them whatever they would have gotten in food stamps in cash in exchange for me living there. They said yeah once they found out cash was involved, and my aunt gave them some extra cash every month to keep them out of our lives. My parents are your regular redneck junkies who are no good to anyone. I had the kid in 1988 and have seen my parents a handful of times since then. She went to court to get custody of me and said my parents dropped me off at her house one day and never picked me up. I went along with that story in court, and it worked out. I said we went back to my house day after day, but they were never home. They were ordered to come to court but never showed up. She got full custody of me and I lived with her until I was able to get myself a good job. I don't work the best job in the world, but it's better than where I came from and I'm proud of that. Anywho, she took me to get an abortion, but it was too late by our state's laws. She pretended to be pregnant, even tried to gain weight, and bought clothes that made her look bigger. I stayed home every day until I had the baby. Everyone thinks it's her kid. I don't feel bad about it and won't ever tell the kid unless my aunt wants to or some big emergency happens where he needs a body part. She always said it's my choice to tell, but I think it's her choice too. She raised him, he calls her mama, and I wouldn't want to take that away from them. He doesn't look like me at all. He doesn't really look like my aunt either. He thinks his daddy is some guy she met at a bar she had a one-night stand with and she doesn't know who he was. He's an adult now and is settling down with his wife, and they're thinking about having kids. It's sometimes weird because I know if they do, they'll be my grandkids, but they'll never know. I don't feel like a parent to him at all. I know he's my biological kid, but I'm not his mama. Every now and then it makes me sad, but I know it was the right decision to make. He's had a good life. My aunt and I saved up to make sure he could get a good education, and he did that. He knows me as his older cousin and we get along well. He's a good guy. Hardworking, a good person, does what he can to help others. I'm proud of him. Here are answers to questions people have. The person that raped me is in jail for the rest of his life. He was arrested for something unrelated to what he did to me, but he won't be out of jail until he's in his 90s. I doubt he'll live that long. My aunt tried for years to get me to admit what was going on. She tried very hard. Anytime she saw me, she asked if I was okay. She tried to get custody of me when I was a kid, but it didn't work out. My parents acted like decent people and I denied anything was going out because of fear. Don't assume she could have done more. She did everything she possibly could, but I was too afraid to speak up. I know DNA tests exist. I don't know if he'll get one done, but we'll talk about what to do if he ever does. It's complicated, and I don't have the answers for what to do, and neither do you. Everyone has their own opinions, none are right or wrong. Good intentions aren't always good advice. My parents are both alive as far as I know. I don't speak to them at all, and haven't seen them since the early 2000s. I don't care to reconnect with them. The way I look at it, my aunt is the only mom I ever had, and I don't need to worry about someone who gave me up for drug money. We went to a hospital outside of town to avoid seeing anyone we knew. Growing up, everyone thought I was a shy kid. I was a big reader and spent most of my time inside anyway. No one thought it was weird that I was inside a lot. My aunt had a good job that let her stay at home and work once she started complaining about having to come in while pregnant. That helped us out a lot. Back then, you could call a store to fill in your grocery order, and the grocery boy would drop them off, similar to how stores have deliveries you can order online now. My water broke in the middle of the night. We were lucky with that as our neighbors never saw us leave. No, I never went to college. When I was a kid, I never thought I'd even graduate high school, but I did. I won't tell you what I do for a living or where I work. That's a strange thing to message someone. Regardless, I make enough to pay my bills and have a little savings. I used to work 3 jobs to make sure I could pay for his college once the time came. Now I only work 1. I don't like what I do, but I work hard and I'm proud of that. Yes, I know my English isn't perfect. I type like how I talk, and I don't care if you think that's bad. Calling yourself a grammar Nazi is a weird way to identify. I wouldn't want to be called a Nazi about anything, nor would I be proud of that, but I guess you can live your best life, and I pray you stop sending rude messages to people. I don't care about your opinions on abortion, or if you think I'm a bad person for considering it. I was barely a teenager, and it would have been the best choice for me. No, I don't regret having the child now, but I wish I didn't destroy my body in the process. I can't have kids now because of the damage that pregnancy caused my body. A few disgusting people have messaged me that this was sexy, that I deserved it, or asked for details. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you, but from the bottom of my heart, I hope you die. The world doesn't need more sick fucks like you. Yes, I know my aunt is a great person. She's the best person I have ever known. Not just because she helped me, I think she would have done the same thing for anyone. She's an angel. Follow or subscribe.